Nuclear madness. It seems like NATO and the United States are on a path towards, to quote Joe Biden, Armageddon. Why would I say this? It seems that the United States and NATO believe that Russia, having suffered an embarrassing defeat in Ukraine, is on the verge of using tactical nuclear weapons to change their fortunes on the battlefield. This is the furthest thing from the truth. First of all, we need to understand that many of the weapons the West is accusing Russia of preparing to use, for instance, nuclear shells used in artillery pieces, no longer exist. They were done away with on instruction from President Gorbachev back in 1991-1992, and their final destruction was overseen by the government of Vladimir Putin in 2000. These weapons don't exist, and yet somehow they exist in the minds of the collective West. The threat of a Russian nuclear attack also violates Russian doctrine. The Russians have made it clear that there's only two conditions under which they would use nuclear weapons. One, if they were attacked themselves by nuclear weapons, they would respond. Two, if there is a conventional attack that threatens the existence of the Russian state, then they would be compelled to use all means at their disposal, to include nuclear weapons, to save the state. Neither of those conditions exist. What's going on in Ukraine today is not an existential threat to Russia. The Ukrainian military, even with the extensive support of NATO, is not in a position of defeating Russia, threatening the Russian state. And yet, here we are talking about nuclear weapons. We have Ukrainian President Zelensky rambling about the need for the United States to conduct a preemptive nuclear strike. In short, if the United States is saying that Russia is getting ready to use the tactical nuclear weapons against Ukraine, then, according to Zelensky, the United States needs to preempt them by using tactical nuclear weapons against Russia. Let me remind you of what Russian nuclear doctrine is. Any use of nuclear weapons against Russia will automatically result in the total launch of Russia's nuclear arsenals, killing everybody,